I'm joined now by Congressman Krishnamoorthi. He's a Democrat from Illinois and a member of the House Intelligence Committee and the Committee of Oversight and Reform. Congressman, thank you so much for taking the time. So, was this an act of pure political retribution by Donald Trump, in your view?
It looks like it. It looks like something that would happen in Putin's Russia or Xi Jinping's China, not something that should happen in the USA.
So you're a member of Congress, just like Adam Schiff and Congressman Eric Swalwell, your colleagues. How does this story make you feel as a person, on a human level? How would you react if you found out that Donald Trump got the DOJ to subpoena your phone records, as well as members of your own family and staff?
Well, it's an appalling abuse of discretion. It's a gross abuse of power, and it's shocking. And, you know, in the case of me or my family, I think they'd probably find a lot of goofy TikTok videos. But on a more serious note, I think that this is what is considered to be a fishing expedition. When they start looking at records of family members or the records of personal staff, that is staff members who have nothing to do with national intelligence or the House Intelligence Committee, it looks like they're just looking for some type of gotcha information on these members and others. And I think that is deeply, deeply disturbing. And Merrick Garland needs to clean house right now.
So, right, Merrick Garland is now the Attorney General, and he's heading up a department where some of the people who were involved on the staff level in this investigation into these leaks, going back to 2017, they're still there. You think they should be gone?
I don't know why they still have jobs. Mr. Benvenuto from New Jersey, but there's a whole raft of line prosecutors in the DOJ who actually carried out this particular investigation who should have known better. You cannot go to a grand jury and start presenting secret subpoenas on a co-equal branch of government. And of course, I think people need to be held up accountable up and down the chain. And I'd like to see Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr testify under oath. I would be very interested in seeing if they say they had no idea that this investigation was going on, and they did so under oath.
So these leak investigations, they began all the way back in 2017 when Jeff Sessions was the Attorney General. But according to the New York Times, they actually were revived by William Barr when he became the Attorney General. I want to play this exchange that now looks very different than it did then, even, from May 2019 between then Senator Kamala Harris and William Barr. Let's take a look.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else?
Seems you would remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest. I mean, there have been discussions of matters out there that they have not asked me to open an investigation, but
perhaps they've suggested.
I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest.
Hinted?
I don't know.
I love how then Senator Harris was a human thesaurus in real time. But Congressman, William Barr claims to have no awareness of the records that Congress was trying, or that were being sought at that time. Do you want to bring him before Congress? And what other questions do you want to ask him?
Yes, we need to bring him before Congress. We need him to testify under oath as to, you know, what was the scope of this investigation? Who were all the members that were targeted? We still don't know, by the way, all the members that were targeted. Who were all the staffers? And we also need to know why he revived the investigation in 2020 after he, in 2019 after he became Attorney General. If you recall, it started in 2017. Apparently, it died out in 2018. But then in 2019, when he becomes Attorney General, he revives it. And the question is, what were the suggestions from other people that led him to go ahead and revive that investigation. And who made those suggestions? Something tells me that the suggester was located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I think that's probably a good guess. And it could have been his Twitter feed, which is now defunct. Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thank you so much for taking the time out and being with us tonight.